Hello, my name is Nevaeh, and I will be talking about mental illness. I will get right into it because I had quite a bit to say. I bet you have been affected by mental illness in some way, whether you are suffering from it, a friend of yours is, or maybe a parent or another beloved family member. The thing is, not everyone wants to talk about their mental illness, whether it comes from stress about cost or the shame that comes with asking for help. It could be both. It could be more than that. But for today, I will be talking about how society needs to accommodate for those who suffer from mental illness and how we can create positive portrayals of mental illness in the media. We can help students suffering from mental illness and how these are so important. But firstly, definitions. What exactly is mental illness? It is a condition involving a change in a person's thoughts, emotions, behaviors, or all three. Your mental health affects your life in very key ways, as good mental health helps us maintain our relationships and our emotional well-being. Our mental health also affects how we communicate, our ability to learn, our hopes, our self-esteem, our resilience. When mental illness does come into play, a lot of things start to change, but they do take a while to set in. The portrayal of mental illness in the media has improved over time, with mental illness first being portrayed as this horrible illness that fundamentally changes people and makes them prone to violence and crime. Now, in the real life, that is unlikely. Though this can be seen in characters like the Joker, where in the Batman comics, he's seen with psychopathic tendencies. Now, he was coded with mental illness to make people more afraid of him. This is also tied in with his blatant queer quoting, but this is not the time for that. However, other pieces of media like I Am Not Okay With This, with characters like Sydney Novak and her experience with anxiety and depression after her father passing away, are much better with representation of how mental illness affects people. Creating positive portrayal of mental illness is very important, as most people are more likely to be educated about a world issue through pop culture, TV shows, movies, books, podcasts, than in a proper learning environment like school. Negative portrayals can make people with mental illness seem like monsters and, like I said earlier, criminals and prone to crime. Mental illness among students is incredibly important to discuss, as it can affect their school grades, ability to make decisions, and general health. A lot of what teens experience in these years will be carried out into adulthood, so it is essential to help them in these years. When it comes to universities, students suffering from mental illness has significantly increased within the past decade. Often, students don't want to reach out about their mental health issues because how faculty has dealt with them and how they have been treated after they have come out about their mental health issues. Unfortunately, this year, suicide has been the third leading cause of death in teenagers ages 12 to 19, with accidents being first and homicide being second. With suicide being this high up on the list of leading causes of death in teens, it is an incredibly important issue to talk about, though I do not have enough time to dive into it more in depth. People may also not want to talk about their mental health because of how older generations take that conversation. For example, let's say a 15-year-old guy is talking to his dad about his anxiety. Now, some teens may be in a situation where they have parents that understand the kind of impact mental health has on someone's life. And by proxy, their parents will understand that how serious a situation is when their child tells them, hey, something's wrong, I need help. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody, though it is kind of uncommon to find those kinds of parents that if their child tells them about a mental illness that they've been suffering, like whether it's anxiety, depression, BPD, they'll say just like, oh, suck it up, or oh, it's not that bad, or oh, everyone was a little depressed, oh, everyone's a little anxious, oh, everyone's a little bipolar. Dear God. I'm sorry, that's not funny. This reinforces the idea that they do not need to get help and that they are overreacting, and like the hypothetical parent said, it's not that big a deal. This affects a teen's trusted circle, and they will no longer feel comfortable or safe talking to their parents about mental illness, not to mention earlier. While a little bit difficult, these issues can be solved with time. Positive portrayal of people with mental illness in the media can help people learn more about mental health conditions in a form that is easy for them to understand. When it comes to students, the proper resources for mental health organizations and crisis lines are important to be well known and to further educate people about mental health and mental illness. We can also help those who talk to their peers about their mental health issues to create a safe environment for when they do want to go get help, when they have those parents that are less understanding about mental illness. Thank you for sitting with me through this. It does mean quite a bit. Thank you for listening, for what I have to say, and have a good day.